there have been many of us chronicling the abject anger and violent rhetoric from the left for years now. And it just keeps getting worse. No one on the left is telling them to chill back. Hey, maybe you shouldn't, I don't know, do what this guy did. This guy here. Old Chad. Now, Chad here is a healthcare professional. Sort of. Okay? So, from Libs of TikTok, I was, side note, I was on Twitter and I said some nutty things and I've got suspended for 12 hours. Oh, no. Anyways, this guy right here, Chad Malinowski, a Chicago area nurse, claims he's been fired and is almost in tears trying to backtrack his statements. He reached out to the clinic to confirm and will update when they respond. And by the way, they responded and said, this man no longer works for this healthcare professional outlet. Chad appears to suggest letting ICE agents bleed out and called on nurses to target them. Now, this isn't the first guy, okay? There's been many over the last year that have said this. But normally, you would just tell these people to stop doing it because, you're trying to be helpful as any normal human to another human would be. But I'm not that generous anymore. I think the left should continue ramping up their language and their rhetoric. And I think they should, because I want more of them fired. I don't want them taking care of kids. I don't want them taking care of sick people, the injured, the infirmed. I want none of that. I don't want them to be cops. There was a cop that was fired in Erie County, Pennsylvania, I think. Same thing. This woman cop decided to state that, and the FBI were called on her too, that the President of the United States needs to have certain things happening to him, which is a big no-no. You don't project a threat like that on social media. So you leftists out there, please, I beg of you, continue. Please continue. Just do it. Because when we find you, and we will get you fired. We will find a way to let the proper authorities know, law enforcement, etc., and your place of employment, and try to get you fired. Because that is the best way as of right now. Because there are other things that could happen after this. We don't want to go there. But apparently you guys on the left seem to want this. I've heard a lot of calls out there for the big R, the big revolution talk, and the Civil War talk. Are you insane? You guys are baby back bitches. Are you insane? You would not last. I'm telling you this for your own good. Just keep talking crap so we can get you fired. Keep the violence zero and we'll be fine. But no. You can't do that. You think that you can get on TikTok and Twitter and X and YouTube and say you want to do things to people that are doing their job. Now, again, I ain't a fan of cops, but I am a fan of ICE. A big fan. Why? Because this is all they're doing on the left. They allowed 10 plus million people to Shawshank their way up through the southern border into our country and just sort of run roughshod across all our services, basic human services that we pay taxes on. And I hate the fact that over the last couple of years, for some reason, my house price has gone up. Doesn't mean my house price is X amount of dollars. It doesn't. It just means that inflation has gone up. And, well, there's not enough houses in the market to offset the demand, apparently, in Minecraft. Anyways, my point is that I want to keep these leftist lunatics out there. I want them to keep spewing their BS because I like to notice where they are and ignore them and actually step away. Go somewhere else because you cannot trust anyone on the left. You can trust them if you want. I'm not saying you have to. I'm not saying what you can and can't do. But I would suggest we just leave them alone. But just like a human zoo, if you will, we need to keep an eye on them. And luckily for them, they're idiots. And they like to spew their hate and spew their goddamn nonsense. Who does this? Who takes a Hippocratic oath? I think they do, nurses, by the way, to do no harm, to help the sick and needy, and all that other crap. And now that the political winds have shifted, they're saying, well, you know what? They need to get hurt. I'm sorry? And that goes on to a further point. Do we gotta know what their political leanings now is? Because that's what they're talking about us. Well, we need to find out what these political leanings are before we help them. Oh, really? We do? Huh. Why? Do you hate us that bad? That you want, obviously, yes. Obviously, yes. And that was the thing. A long time ago, I didn't necessarily hate the left. They disgusted me. It was just like, you go to a bar and someone's thrown up on the ground. You're like, ugh, yuck. And you just kind of step over it and kind of move on with your day. But now it's gone way beyond that. They actually want to injure us. Case in point, old Chad Malinowski, who had no problem using TikTok to spew his BS. And now he is jobless and crying. Wah. Wah. See now? He's big sad. You dummy. And like this guy says here, there is no walking back to stupidity that comes from his mouth. His plague on this society. Send him to Somalia. Well, I don't think sending him to Somalia is actually going to help. Somalia, for that fact, might help us for a little bit, but maybe, just maybe, this will be a case study or an example for you stupid, idiotic leftists out there to understand that we will find you because you're out there. We're not even looking. You're actually broadcasting this out into the ether, out into the wind, telling us what you want to do to us if we don't believe in your bullshit political ideology. And now you're losing your jobs over it. Good. If that's the worst that happens, I'm glad. Because if you listen to anything that this son of a bitch says, or any other leftist lunatic out there protesting in the streets, they want us dead. They want us dead. So either the cops stop all this nonsense, or the federal government steps in and stops all this nonsense, or who knows where this is going to go. But we all do know where this is going to go if this is not stopped.